When Sarah and I went to visit one of our friends in Denver, they are a Hispanic family and they had tamales. I've never eaten a tamale before. And so, it has like the corn husk on the outside. Thank goodness. None of the family was looking. It was, they like grabbed them. It was like that we were going and sitting on the couch and watching TV to eat supper. And Sarah and I were in the kitchen and I picked it up and bit into it. And she looked at me and she was like, and I like had this look on my face of like, why isn't this right? Like, this doesn't feel like, well, I can't bite through this.
Like, this
and she's like,
gross.
Peel that off. I was like, thank God none of them saw that. It's so embarrassing.
Have you ever taken a bite of that? It does not go anywhere. Like, your teeth do not.
No. There's a reason why they use that as the casing to form it, because it's just not moving.
Hey, it's Casey.
I'm Meredith.
And this is Kiara.
And we're 3 best friends in a long-distance relationship.
We've learned some valuable lessons along the way over the last 10 years of being friends.
Now let's get to it, because... Hi, guys.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
This is It's Been Forever. I was saying welcome back to the
to the listeners. Okay.
Yeah.
To the listeners. Oh, okay.
Well, you too, guys. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're just going to keep going. We're still figuring this out. But today, on our very special episode of It's Been Forever, it is our very own Casey Marie. I almost said Perez. Casey Marie Nitschy's birthday.
Birthday!
Happy birthday,
Happy
Casey! Birthday.
I feel like we should play. Do you remember that one year it was Bryce's birthday and we played that? Hey, happy birthday today, my day. We played that song like all day.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that.
What is that song called?
That's a good memory.
Happy birthday.
That's
I'm
a good
pretty
start.
sure that's
There's
it.
only
Good
I
place
feel
to
like there's
start.
only like 5 songs that say happy birthday.
Yeah.
We need to get some
Okay.
new ones.
Happy
Yeah,
birthday.
let's write one. Today, my day.
Look it up. But we figured we'd start off this episode just celebrating Casey and kind of getting her hot takes on the last year of life. Since she's 27 today, I love putting people on the hot seat because it kind of is just a good reflection of things that you've done over the last year, what you're looking forward to in the year ahead. And 27, I don't know, it was kind of like you're in your mid upper 20s, like you're really
a grown up.
Thank you guys.
Like if you
for pointing
shoplift
that out.
now, there's no excuse. It's like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? If you shoplift and you're like 21, it's like, okay, you're still kind of a
you
kid.
are just figuring it out.
Yeah.
Like if I made a mistake right now, like a really big
You'd like go to
crucial
prison.
one, that's on
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh
sure on
gosh,
me.
that's
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Thank
that's
you.
too much. Well, okay, so my question is looking back on your last year, just what have been some of your highlights? If you have one or a couple highlights of year 26, let's just wrap it up in a nice bow,
Okay.
What have you done that you have loved?
This is so lame, and this is so 27 of me to even say this.
I'm so excited.
Professionally, I've had a really good year.
Okay.
that is okay. That's
Okay.
I
that
know,
is
but that's so like old person.
no, that's so good.
No, I think that's good.
That's something to be proud of,
I guess.
especially
It
someone who
is.
didn't graduate from college.
Screw you.
For
That's a story for another day. Anyway,
Meredith wanted to
yeah,
get
she
into
did.
it.
But
It's
we're
fine.
gonna-
Later.
We're gonna just
Stay
put a quick pause on
tuned.
that.
Stay tuned.
but
keep
yeah,
listening.
My professional career, I got a promotion this past year, and I'm really proud of
Yeah.
it, and worked really hard to get it. And I think the best thing about getting a promotion is, for me, I didn't go into the career that I have right now with anticipation to climb to the top, like climb the corporate ladder. If you know me, I don't really like stuff like that. Honestly, I just want to like have a good time and enjoy what I do and make sure other people around me also enjoy their lives. So it's just kind of fun for me to actually move up and advance, but also still enjoy my life and like enjoy what I'm doing and not regret any of
That's
this
super
shit.
cool.
So, Yeah. So I guess professionally,
that is
well,
awesome.
that is a little bit lame. And then I will add surprising my mom on her birthday, flying home.
Yeah. That was
super
sweet.
fun. That was super fun.
That was cute.
Yeah, that was totally worth it. So those are like the two things I can remember right now. If someone is like, what the heck? We did this together. My bad. Okay.
It's okay.
My bad.
Seeing me and Meredith in year 26 wasn't.
There you go. Another example.
At the top.
Another example. I totally forgot. My bad.
That's
Meredith.
okay.
My bad.
It was like 7 months
to be
ago.
fair.
Okay.
I know. To be fair, I feel like that was such a long time
And
ago.
the things that I named were both
year.
in the past 2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
So I'm
This
only
is
going to
true.
remember the things that were kind of recent. So sorry,
Yeah.
that's really lame. But
And your mom, like, battling cancer and like overcoming, like that is huge.
Oh yeah.
Massive. Yeah.
Yep. Again, thank
so
you.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
We'll just help
Thank
you
you.
remember
Yes.
some monumental
Yeah, but my
moments.
mom finishing radiation and being cancer free, we're hoping, so that was really exciting. Also very humbling, and I think I've spoken about this before, but knowing that your parents aren't invincible. But my mom actually sent me a picture of her and my dad yesterday, just randomly. And it was like, oh my gosh, they're so young. They're so like little. Like I don't really realize how young my parents used to be. You don't think of your parents. You think of your parents just like when you were born and when you started remembering, that's the age they'd always started off. They didn't have a life before you.
Yeah.
Which is just childish thinking. But the picture, she was 27.
Wow.
I was like, oh my gosh.
That's you.
Stop.
Oh my
So
gosh.
wild.
I could cry.
you.
You're going to show your kids the picture of you and Bryce at the beach yesterday.
I know.
Like, that's wild.
I know. And so
And they're going to be like, Mom, you didn't always have gray hair.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna make sure I never actually have gray hair.
I could cry.
But yeah, so it's definitely just humbling and I don't know, exciting, and who knows. So I feel super young still, and I hope that I stay that way. I never want to be one of those people like, oh, I'm just old. Sorry, I can't do that, guys. I'm just old and lame. Like, I don't want to be like that. I'm just gonna keep doing my thing until I can't do my thing no more. So
yeah,
there you go.
Are there any places that you want to travel to in the upcoming year? Any like cities or countries?
I am going to the Caribbean islands on a cruise.
Oh.
Let me give you the exact places, and maybe I even lied when I said the Caribbean islands because again, I don't really remember the full things. I just know that I'm going on a cruise. That's what I can tell you. And I'm going to places that are warm.
I've never been on a cruise.
I haven't either.
I would love to go on one. So please report back.
I'll report
all the exciting things.
So I believe that I'm going to San Juan, which is in the Dominican Republic, I believe.
Oh.
Then I also have...
That's nice.
2 other places that I'm going. And if Jess is out here listening somewhere, she's probably screaming them because she knows itinerary and everything that there is.
When is this?
This is going to be happening in October, the end of October. Yeah.
So fun.
That's so exciting. Well, that's something exciting to look forward to.
I have it.
Your
finally.
27th year. Okay.
I'm going to San Juan. I'm going to Amber Cove. And I'm going to Grand Turk.
Oh my gosh.
So sick.
So if you want to look up those places and just think about me on October 21st.
That's our anniversary.
Yeah. So I'm going to be celebrating your anniversary on the show.
Thanks. Screw you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Also,
Meredith and Noah,
to make you feel a little bit better, my 5-year wedding anniversary is next month. And this is kind of...
That's your trip. Yeah.
This is kind of like our trip for that with another couple friend.
Yeah.
5 years.
5 years, guys.
Wow. That's
what the
crazy.
Heck?
What was the day? The 23rd?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would do things so differently. And also I would probably decorate and do things a lot differently too. But it is what it is.
Yep.
And
it's fine.
Wow.
I believe that my hair
I will say,
and makeup and dress were timeless. That was kind of the look that I was going for.
It's gorgeous.
Who knows? We'll probably look back.
It was
like
really
50.
pretty.
Oh yeah, my kids will say, "Mom, why'd you wear a cape? Were you a superhero?" And I'll say, "Honey, it was cute."
Yeah, it was cute. They don't even know.
Cute.
They don't even know.
They don't even know.
They don't know. They'll never know.
Oh, gosh, isn't that is kind of weird?
Weird.
Maybe like
it's kind of weird.
I know. I said that.
Guys,
I was hoping you didn't catch that.
It's so weird.
Weird.
She's just imitating our kids, our future kids.
Oh no, yes, I'm imitating your guys' children.
That we don't
That's
have.
funny. A cape.
No, it's so weird that like our last memories are like kind of each other's weddings.
That was
Not
the last
birthdays.
times
I
we were
can't
all
talk.
together.
Yeah.
Weddings. I
Okay,
know.
so
The last
Kiara,
time we were
then
all
you
together
just have to get
was
married soon so that we can all get together again.
I need to just have a
Or
bomb
honestly,
wedding.
why don't we
Yes.
do
Come
more
and
trips
hang.
together?
I don't know.
I know. We
Okay.
should.
Like every May or
Yeah.
every whatever we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even just us three. It doesn't have to be like significant others. That'd be fun too.
Right.
But
Oh yeah, leave your husbands.
Leave them.
leave 'em.
Leave your
It don't
husbands.
matter.
Just bye.
No. Okay. All right. We'll plan that off.
Okay, cool.
Pod.
Off pod, we'll do that.
Off pod.
Sick.
Sick. Okay. Mare, I believe there was a topic that we're going to discuss today, and I would love if you would tell us what it is.
Yes, I would love to intro this. So, I thought it'd be kind of fun to do almost like a little, kind of working title, letter to my college self.
Okay. Cute.
But I don't know if I love that because it doesn't have to be like each of us like. Blah, 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 blah.
Well, it doesn't need to be like a
You
big dramatic, like,
No.
dear younger me. Like, it
Dear
doesn't need to be
younger
like
me.
that.
Right, exactly. I just thought it'd be fun, like in college, that's 4 years of your life.
Mhm.
4 very foundational years of your life where you're learning and growing. Like the person I was when I went into college is not the same person who walked out of college. And so
Mhm.
even to think about like what were some of the best decisions I made in college? What were some of the worst decisions I made? What would I have done differently? What am I so glad that I stuck to? You know?
Yeah.
So I thought that would be kind of fun to
I love that.
dig
I
into.
think that's great. I think that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Should I maybe just start?
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
start us off.
Go
I'm
for
going to
it.
start with some of the best decisions I made. I remember my like going into, or no, it was like the end of my freshman year of college. So backing up a little bit, in high school I played field hockey and I played basketball. I didn't
Yeah, you
love
did.
basketball though, but I played field hockey and I loved it. However, then I went to school in the Midwest where there was no field hockey.
And I also remember finding out for the first time that field hockey was a non-contact sport, and I got really mad. I don't know why that made me so mad.
Non-contact, but I
doesn't
had
seem
so
like it
many
would be
bruises
right.
from like the ball or like the stick. But as far as like physical, like I couldn't like throw bows, you know? Not that I'm someone
I don't
to
know what
throw
that- I
bows
don't know- I
anyways.
don't know what
Like
that
elbowing
means.
people, you know?
I
I only know that from what's that
was
one
like-
song we listen to all the time?
I'm real young. From the
From
six
Six
throw
Throw
bows.
Bows. That's the only way that I knew that.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Of me. I love that song.
I saw
Broccoli.
a meme once,
Oh.
and it was like, mentally, it's 2016, and I'm at a house party with broccoli playing in the background. Like,
When
That's so
Oh,
accurate.
When that
yes.
song played at my wedding, at our wedding last October. But I was like saying goodbye to like loved ones who were driving back to Pennsylvania the next morning, and I was literally like, "I'm so sorry, I have to go."
Good.
And I sprinted to the
Like,
dance floor
this-
because I was like, "That was a
this is
song
my
that I wrote
song.
down to the DJ must play."
yes, well, and I'm glad that you did that because from experience, I mean, and I've maybe told you this story. I was saying goodbye to some of Bryce's family, my family. And they just were like, "So, tell us about your plans. Once you move." And apparently behind me, my dad and my cousin were like doing some big dance, and he was throwing her in the air, and it was like this huge dramatic thing, and apparently it was the coolest thing ever.
And
I was like trying to go to the dance floor desperately. So I'm so proud of you for being like, "Hey, I love you, but deuces, I get one night and this is it. Bye."
Yep. I'll see you
this
in
is
2
your one
months
night
at
to
Christmas,
dance.
but right now I gotta
Oh my-
dance.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Thank you for
Yes.
coming. Love you so
Yep.
much, but I'm
Yes,
dancing.
totally. Okay, so
So
Kiara,
anyways,
just make sure you do that.
Yeah.
Yes. Field hockey,
Okay,
non-contact.
noted.
I played field hockey, but they didn't have that at Heston. So I was like, I need to play a sport because it was mainly, honestly, I had such bad body image and I was gaining weight. And so I was like, I need to do something so I'm going to lose weight. And so I was like, I've played soccer before. Like I could probably do that.
Like the kindergarten soccer that
like
we all
last
played?
time I played soccer, actually we had like rec league, but our school would allow 6th grade girls to play soccer on the boys team because field hockey started in 7th grade.
Gotcha.
So I played soccer in middle school in 6th grade. I barely played because none of the boys would pass to us because I wasn't good.
Boys,
but boys suck. But during that season, I learned, and I wrote it down because I wanted to word it correctly. If it scares you, it doesn't mean that it's bad. It means maybe there's something to learn from it.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Like that experience, it was scary because I'm also kind of an introvert. Like I am a people person. I love talking to people, but I'm exhausted afterwards. Like I'm scared to do new things. But I remember in that time of my life being like, nope, this is scary, but it's good. Like I'm going to learn a lot from this and I'm going to make friends and I'm going to transfer it eventually. And this is a good decision because I can make friends at my new school. And I did. Yeah. And like some of my best friends in college were on both of those soccer teams, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I had a friend who, was going to join our choir because choir was going to tour in Europe that summer. The 3 of us ended up not going, me and Casey and Kiara, but this friend was going to, and at the last second she backed out of auditioning because she was afraid of getting rejected or afraid of like having a bad experience. And I just remember thinking like, oh, you're missing out on this opportunity because of fear. Like if it's one thing if you genuinely like, no, Europe doesn't interest me. Like singing doesn't interest me, but it was solely out of like fear. I remember thinking like, wow, I don't want to live a life where I'm just afraid and I miss out on experiences because I'm afraid. And I hate to say, I think I've lost that part of myself a little bit. I'm definitely more fearful now. Maybe that just is something that comes with age. But that was one big thing that I learned from college that I like, best decision I ever made was to just like do it.
I would totally echo that for you because I remember you'd be like, why not, guys? Like, let's just go. And I remember you were always the aggressor, which I totally need an aggressor because as soon as someone goes, then I'm totally in. But sometimes I'm like, I'm always someone to like kind of pave the path to just be the first person. In some areas, absolutely not. But in like 90% of my life, yeah. I think that's really good. I think for myself, if I could go back, I would not be so hung up on trying to be friends with literally every single person that walked in front of me. I had this like vision that I wanted to be known as being kind, which is not a bad thing. But when that's your sole pursuit, is just trying to be kind, then you're not actually having genuine connections with people because you're just trying to be nice to everybody the whole time. And you're like, oh, okay, I'm just trying to make sure my reputation is good for you. Okay, good it is. Okay, now I'm going to go over to this group. Yep, good. My reputation's good over here. Instead of just having like, and I think I eventually found this, but like finding my people where I'm like, I'm just going to like totally invest here. And I also don't have to be friends with everyone. That was like knowing like, you have a choice now. You go to college. Yeah. You don't go to this small high school anymore where you're going to see each other every single day and do everything together. It's like you can make the decision like, hey, you know what? I just don't know if we're going to be friends. And not because like you're mean or it's just sometimes you just don't really connect with people. And that is totally fine. And I wish I didn't think that I had to be friends with everyone. I think that's just small school, just lies a little bit. Is like,
absolutely.
Hey, you need to go sit with that person at lunch because they need to know that you are friends with them. It's like
because you're going to see them in the next 5 periods.
Exactly.
So you have to maintain peace. Right. Versus college, that's not how it is.
Right. It's not how it is at all. Yeah, and it's like I'm so thankful that I didn't. I'm like, oh, so I don't have to like. I play on the volleyball team with you because I played in college. But we don't have to be friends like outside of the court. And don't get me wrong, like Meredith, some of my best friends were on the volleyball team and still to this day. But I don't have to be friends with everyone on my team and I don't have to keep in touch and I don't have to like try super, super hard. If I want to, it's because I genuinely feel that. But I'm grateful to know I don't have to be just have this perception of being kind to every single person. And if we're just not going to be friends, that's okay.
Yeah. And that's like the same with like work life. Like I always think about like, what's real life like? Real life is like you work at this workplace and maybe, you're not going to be friends with everyone, and that's totally fine. And so college kind of set you up for that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Shoot. I mean, I would say I totally agree with what you said, Casey. And I think for me too, what I wish I would have known is that like you change so much over the course of your 4 years or 2 years or however long, you end up going to college. I think that I wish I would have been told like it's okay to change your major. It's okay to like change your friend group. It's okay to change your mind on things, because I think I had to make a decision and like stick with that until the end of time. Like I had to like keep my major and then only do that. But like for me, I do change my mind a lot just in general. Like I changed my major. I did change it like 4 times. Like I feel like I was kind of the person that had like different friend groups, and like that's okay. But like I wish someone would have told me that it is okay to change.
Yeah.
And like you don't have to like stick with the mentality that you had like when you go into college. You don't have to stick with the hobby even, like you could pick up something totally new that you didn't even think about like growing up, and you're like, actually I realize I have this passion for like woodworking. I don't know, like it doesn't matter, like whatever you want to do, like I think that's okay. But like you adapt and change so much over the course of your time in school. And like for me, honestly, I kind of went to college for definitely more of the social route than the academic route. But like I am grateful for that. But like I think I wasted so much time just being like annoyed that I changed so much. But like it's okay. It's okay to change your mind on things. Because like, I mean, even now looking back after like 8, 9, 10 years, it's like we are different people, like Meredith said.
Expecting an 18-year-old to decide what they're going to do with the rest of their life is crazy.
Ludicrous.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like that's something that was one of my regrets, was like not searching more for what my career should be. Like you said, like in my hometown, there were like 4 careers. There was teacher, nurse, farmer,
farmer's wife.
Yeah, like there was like really no, and like this
true.
is not my parents' fault at all. They just didn't know what was out there either. So I was like, well, I guess I'll be a teacher, and I graduated and was a teacher, and I loved it. It was great.
And also congratulations on just finishing up
Thank
your
you.
last year. I know that was
my last year teaching. Yeah,
really hard.
Yeah, there were some tears, which I wasn't really expecting to be so emotional.
Just because I know you wanted to be done so bad that you were probably like, "This, I'm thrilled," but I know that's probably still hard.
Yeah, and even like seeing like some of my last students, like last groups with some of my students, like walk out of my room, like, oh, I'm never gonna like teach you again, things like that, or even some of my coworkers that I really really enjoy. Like that was hard, but yeah, like. I always think like in another life I would have done this or I would have done this. But like some people actually do that. And like
I know.
I wish in college I would have even in the education realm, like searching for like what about play therapy or like a speech path or something like that. Like those things are interesting to me. Why didn't I like try harder to go down one of those
paths?
Find
a different direction.
Yeah. Which ultimately led me to where I am now. And I believe that I was like meant to be a worship leader. Like thank goodness for Northwestern and for all of that. But yeah, I wish I would have just like done more work digging into that.
Yeah. I think in college you have such a big like group mentality, like group think. You just go in thinking with the people around you.
Totally.
I think even for like hobbies or majors or whatever, which is just like hard to navigate when you're like, maybe I do want to do something a little different, or like I want to do business instead of psychology, or like education instead of nursing. Like it is like a vulnerable place to like put yourself out there and say like, actually, this is the route that I want to take. And I know no one in this lane, but like I think for each of us, because we all had different majors, like we kind of grew in our own unique areas because we were kind of the only ones of our friend group in our respective areas. But it like brought so much like amazing friendships and conversations. And in like a small school you kind of relatively know everyone, yes, but yet I think we all each had like our own lanes, which kind of, I think it brought a lot to our friendship as a whole.
Yeah, just brought, I think, different perspectives because, like, I played sports. I was the only one who played sports for our first year at Heston before Meredith started the soccer team, and Kira played tennis, which balls in the fall. Another not time. Really serious tennis player, but so it was. I had to kind of find that balance between still wanting to pursue my own individual interests because obviously I loved volleyball, but I also sang in the choir, which kind of didn't really make sense. And I still had to find individual things that I wanted to do. And it's super easy if you've been an athlete, if you are an athlete, if you've only played group sports, just like you said, Kara, to have group think. And you think in order to make your team stronger, sometimes you need to do everything together. And sometimes that's the kind of team you have. I would say sophomore year at Heston, our team was super, super close. And I know I hung out with my volleyball team so much that year, and that maybe at times was a little frustrating for you guys too. But also, like we've talked about before, having those individual moments where it's like, okay, what do I like? What do I like to do? And do I want to take this computer science class, or do I want to take this pottery class or whatever? And just kind of pushing yourself beyond just like doing the gen eds and what all of your friends are doing. Yeah. That I wish I would have just probably done a little bit better job of that, because I didn't even try to explore what kind of classes there were. I was just like, oh, are you taking that class? Okay, perfect. See you there. Oh, and as long as it's not at 8 a.m., I'll definitely take it with you. Like, why couldn't I don't know. That's just young-minded. Like,
also, I just never go to class thought with my about friends. I never thought about like if there was a degree that I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting, but it's not at the school that I'm at. No way. Like, I never thought about transferring. Like, maybe transferred once, but like there would be people that would like leave school because like, oh, I'm gonna go to do this like dental hygiene. Yes. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. I'm like, you're crazy.
But like, oh, no, actually, that's so smart. Like, yes. But I think, maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but I think all three of us, our college experience was for college experience, which probably
not athletics. Yeah. I literally went to school to go play volleyball.
And it's like not really that smart in the grand scheme of things. I'm so glad that I did though, because here we are, but.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Just kind of funny.
I think we were part of that. I think we're part of this, hopefully. The last generation that gets college shoved down your throat, that if you don't go, you're pretty much disgraced from this earth.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the people in your class that were just like, oh, I'm not going to go to college. I'm just going to stay home and work. And you were like, are you an idiot?
Yeah.
Like,
or take a gap year.
And like, we're like, are you insane? Why would you go to college? Are you like, obviously you don't understand what's good for you. And it's like, and we did?
Yeah.
No. And I'm not saying in any sense that I regret going to school, but I think of like people going to a 2-year school back where I lived. It's called Kirkwood. We called it Kegwood, because basically you just went to school to party. And
that's
so
funny. I like that.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
If anyone went to a 2-year school and lived at home, you were poor, or you didn't care about your life and your education and your future. But also, you know how much money they probably saved?
Oh, yeah.
Living at home?
Yeah.
Or just living in an apartment with like randos? They probably saved so much money.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's a program now here in Oregon, which I think is fabulous. It's Chemeketa Community College. If you're a resident of Salem, you can get 2 years there for free.
What? That's amazing.
Wow. That's amazing. Like, that's incredible. Yeah. You get your gen eds, you get them out of the way, and then you can transfer to a state school, you know, whatever's close or whatever. And I think we just have got to do a better job of like, hey, do what makes sense for you financially, what makes sense for your future, like, and not just being like, no, you need to go to college, you have to go, no, you need to go. Like, that's just, that makes me sad. And as I'm coaching and like bringing up these next group of girls, I want them to know that college is a possibility for them if they want it.
Yeah.
If they don't want it, okay, what can we find for you next? Because it was like, no, you're going to college. I mean, it's no option, and it's no fault to my parents. My parents didn't go to college, so they thought, you have to
that's
go.
good. Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, like, are we even doing what we like graduated?
Oh, have we even said that?
Almost graduated with. Like, are we doing what we got our degree? Because like, I graduated with a business degree, and I'm in full-time ministry doing design work, and sure,
and
business
is kind of universal, but like,
which is why people do it.
Yeah. That's why that's like the biggest.
True. I mean, that's why I did it. I was like, surely it'll like branch over all these different areas. But like, the reality is like, I didn't major with the design major, but that's what I'm doing full time. And like, I think for each of you too, it's like, this is not what I technically studied, but this is what I'm doing now full time.
I work in the fitness industry and management. But I didn't technically graduate, but I had a worship arts degree. So I was technically set off to go into full-time ministry, which now I do not do. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And married to education, which you were probably the one that like stayed in your lane. But even now it's like,
but I did it because so Casey, and I've said this before, so I'm not going to go into huge detail, but like my situation in my hometown was opposite, where it's like, you're going to college. Are you kidding? Like, you're going to waste so much money, and what are you going to do with it? Like there were 2 of us that went to, 3 of us from my graduating class that went to college. Granted, there were 12 of us, so 3 out of 12. But it was a small school. But cool. So like there were 3 out of 12 of us that went to college. Like, my parents didn't want me to.
Can anyone like come up with a percentage with that? Like, I was can't,
trying.
But...
No, I can't. No. Not off the top of my head.
Sorry, if you're listening and you're like,
I taught kids 20%. And read. But anyways,
but it's okay.
It's fine. That's why I became like stuck with teaching, also because it was to prove my parents wrong. I was like, no, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to be successful, and I'm going to be able to pay off my loans, which is also why I went to college far away, because they told me I couldn't. You know, like, everything was to like prove that I could do
prove people wrong,
which makes me sound like I have a really bad relationship with my parents. I don't. I love them, and they are so proud of me and happy for me. But that the path they wanted was very different than the path that I chose.
Yeah. It's funny. Yesterday, Bryce and I were talking about how, and we don't have to get into this whole debate, but we're like, we don't know if we really believe in soulmates. Like, we just think whatever path you decided, there was a person for you in that path that was perfect for you in the way that you went.
Yeah.
And I think that's so true to, I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily be like your spouse, but it could be friends. It could be whatever, a number of things. But if you decided to go that route, God was going to put something in place for you that was going to help you and grow you and all of that. It didn't matter what path you took, because the thing is, there's not a wrong one, because in any sense, in any way that you go, you're going to learn something, and it could be wrong because you shouldn't have maybe done it, but then you did learn something from that path. And because of that, you were able to go maybe to the original path, but a completely different perspective. And I just think it's really cool, because there's so many different directions we could have gone. And even like, when it came to transferring, at one point, 3 of us were considering 3 different colleges. Like, there was a chance that the 3 of us wouldn't even transferred together to Northwestern. And like, I'm so thankful that we did, because I can't even think that like us not going to school together is stupid.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, that's just wild to me. And even us being there helped us connect with other people that we wouldn't have met even within our own college experience, just because Northwestern was quite a bit bigger than Heston. And so you introduced me to people that I wouldn't have known at the same school. But because you were in my path, like, it totally defines that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That actually brings up something that I had been thinking of the last couple of days, which is that this, idea of like letter to our college selves is like, I wish I would have done a better job at being in the moment in college. I think I really like, in my personal experience in going to Heston, where we all met, transferring to a 4-year school together, I didn't do a good job at being in the moment at the next college. I think I had been like too reminiscent of memories. I had been too like nostalgic and sad for like, oh, it used to be like this and now it's not. Or I didn't love the college that I graduated from, because I didn't do a good job in the moment, like being in the moment and being present. And I think that is like no one's fault except my own. And I think now I can recognize that and realize that I was just so self-conscious of like, whether it was what other people thought of me or like what I was going to do with my life, or like, oh, I just need to make sure that it's exactly like this experience that I had before. I don't even know if I can put like one finger on it because it was just a multitude of things. But I think like now looking back, I'm like, I was such a people pleaser. I was such like kind of what Casey was saying earlier too. I think the same of like, I was just like wanting to make friends with every single person and make sure that I was good with everyone or known by this certain way. And like, honestly, now as 27 years old, I'm like, I don't really care that much anymore. But like back then it was just such a big deal to be looked at a certain way or to be thought of a certain way. And I think it was all because I was so hyper aware, hyper conscious of like what other people thought of me. And I think that takes a lot of time, and maybe I'm not perfect at it, but I have come a long way with thinking of like, you have to live your life and like be in tune with yourself and know what you want to do, because the truth of the matter is like college is for some people only 2 or 4 or 6 or 8 years. So it will not last for your whole life. There will be a time where everyone will move on from that like season of your life. They will end up going a different route. They will move cities. They will, you know, if it's in their plan, they might get married. They might have kids. They might, whatever it is, like they will move on from that. And like, that's okay, because it will not always be this heightened emotional experience like you are experiencing now. But yet at the same time, it's almost like a fine line of like, this won't last forever, yet you need to be be good at being in the moment. I don't know if you can like talk into that a little bit, but it's like this like weird line that is hard to put into words.
So like we've talked about this before, like every person carries wounds with them throughout their life that cause them to act and react in certain ways, because it's how they stay like safe in the world. Like we all have things that have happened to us that and that's like why people react in crazy ways, you know. But when you're like, now I feel like obviously don't have it all figured out, but now I'm much more aware of like, oh, this is why I do this, or this is why I'm a people pleaser, because I want this and this and this or whatever. But when you're in college, you haven't done that self-work as much. And so A, you're just realizing how maybe emotionally unhealthy you are. And B, it's the most, like you said, emotionally heightened. Like, was it our professor from Northwestern, Kevin Wilder? I remember this in Dev Psych. He said college is the most stressful time. Like college is when you are at your least healthy, because you're staying up all night to study or to do whatever. You are probably experimenting with drinking or whatever. You are that's the first time you're like out on your own, having to be responsible for your own schedule, your own calendar. There's just so much happening in this, and our brains still aren't fully developed, like that like cliche, like, but it's true.
Right.
And we're all carrying around this baggage from childhood or from whenever that we haven't worked through yet. And so like, even if you're not in college though, I think that that's still the same. Like I'm thinking of like, I have this cousin who he's 6 years younger than me. And after college, he like was a trucker, and I'm sure he still had a lot of this same stuff when he was just working full time though. Like you're still dealing with people. Maybe you're not like up all night like you are in college, but you know, I just think that time of your life is so stressful for so many reasons. And now as a 26, 27-year-old, we can look back and reflect on that.
Yeah. I wonder too, if just like the older we get, the more we'll be like, wow, we really didn't know anything when we were that age. Like probably like 5-6 years from now, even we'll be like,
what did we even talk about on that podcast?
What did we even talk about?
I was like, I have a niece right now. She's 18. She goes to Heston, the same school that we went to, and she plays volleyball. So it's very reminiscent of like, I'm looking at myself.
And she looks like you.
Yeah, she does. We're 8 years apart. So I'm like literally watching her go through this experience, and I'm just like, she's doing things, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so little. And I'm like, wait, that was me. I'm like, she doesn't know. Like she obviously like is just going off of what she thinks is best, and obviously
like she met Bryce.
Right.
Like you met Bryce at her age.
No, I know. I met Bryce when I was 18, and she's like telling me about boys, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like you're so not ready for that. And I'm like, Who even said that? I knew what I was doing when I was 18. And also, like, Bryce was my first boyfriend. That's not like a humble brag or anything. I like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing? Like, your first boyfriend is already awkward enough, but then you're like, okay, well, I guess we love each other. We're 18. What the heck? We didn't know anything.
Yeah.
Like, that's just so wild to me. The older I get, the more I realize I don't know anything and that I'm a baby. Like, every year I'm like, I don't know. Calling to make a doctor's appointment is still hard.
I hate it.
Honestly,
I'm so thankful that Bryce calls for my car to get serviced because, like, what do you even say?
That's really nice that he does that.
What does that mean?
Still don't know.
Yeah.
Oil change. How are you supposed to know if your oil's down bad besides your car beeping at you?
Yeah.
I know there's a way to check it. I don't know how. I know you're supposed to lift the hood. Then what?
Couldn't tell you.
I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know. I guess I just don't know anything. That's pretty much all.
Happy 27th.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for this crisis.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm finding myself.
You know what? I'm dead. You know, like, just randomly right now, like, have been thinking about is, like, I still look back, though, even in the midst of all of this, like, the most amazing memories still, like, come to the forefront of my mind. Like, even though I'm like, I wish I would have done this differently. I wish I would have done that. Like, I have, like, stupid memories of us three just being up late hours of the night doing crafts for why. I don't know, of going to the local, you know, I mean, at that point it was like a gas station for pizza
for the
or
cheese
donuts
fries
or whatever. Like, yes. And like those memories still, even though there's so many things that I wish I would change, there's so many things that we did right in the sense of like hanging on to each other. Like, I'm so glad. I'm still so glad. And that's the whole reason why we have this podcast too. It's just like, we became friends like almost a decade ago in college, and now we're, you know, in our upper 20-year-old living life in all different cities across the US, and just like the memories that we've made have just like, they're still at the forefront of my mind. Always. Yeah. Always. So even in the midst of all the things that I wish I would have known, I wish I'd done differently, like, I'm still glad we did it. And in a way, I'm glad we didn't know it all.
I know.
Because we figured it out
so much
together.
Yeah.
Can you imagine trying to do all this again now? Knowing what we know now?
No way.
I don't think that's almost the beauty of it too, is like going into it not knowing anything. Because if we did know, we wouldn't do things.
Because it's scary.
The same.
Yeah.
And we'd also probably be kind of boring.
That's
I think
true.
we'd be kind of boring.
Oh, you go to bed at 9 o'clock.
Round.
Yeah. Truth.
Go to bed at 9 p.m., not have a social life. And just...
No, if we went to bed at 9 in
knows?
college, we would have missed out on 75% of the night. So,
yes. So last time we ended, I had like a list of like 4 like fun, like you guys pick. What do we talk about for our ending? So last time I had 4 topics and we only picked one. And I asked Kiara this, but I want to know your opinion too, Casey. Do I keep those 3 in and add like another, or do I do a whole new slew of options?
You remember how good my memory is, and I don't even remember. So
let's do a whole new slew.
Okay, because I wouldn't know.
That's fine. All right, new slew, 4 options.
Okay.
And I thought it'd be kind of fun because this is still kind of new to get people to know our personalities. So they're kind of personality based, okay? Except for this first one.
I'm kind of nervous.
Well, the first one is
I'm excited.
Maybe I'll skip this. Maybe I'll say this for next time. Okay. So 3 options, personality based. Disney princes that we would date. And we would say like, I, Meredith, would date this prince. And this is why.
Sure.
If our significant other was a fruit, what kind of fruit they would be?
Pass.
Okay. And then each of us pick a dog for the other that would describe the other too.
Oh.
I think I'm going to go with the first one.
Disney prince?
Disney princess.
Disney prince that we would date.
Because I had one that immediately came to mind.
Okay. Who was yours that you would date and why?
So this is Casey speaking.
Thank you.
Because you told me to do that.
Yeah.
So Casey speaking, she would choose Flynn Rider from Tangled. Tangled to me is the most underrated Disney movie of all time. No, I'm not a Disney adult. Don't come at me. But I do know what's good, and Tangled is the best. Sorry.
Okay, well,
Flynn
I'm
Rider,
going
he's
to absolutely
dangerous.
fight you because
good.
I
Okay.
pick Flynn.
No, but I said it first.
But it was my idea.
But
Shoot,
he likes,
you guys,
he
not
likes
me over here
brunettes,
Googling.
and I know my hair's like a
Shut
little
up.
darker than that, but it is that same length right now. So pretty much, there you go.
Okay, well, that sucks. For a
And it's my
long
birthday.
for a
And
long
it's my birthday.
Oh, shut up. Okay, I'll give it to you. For a long time, my pick was
It's her
Prince
birthday.
Eric, but then I realized how freaking boring Prince Eric is. Also,
Yeah.
she like doesn't talk for half the movie, and he's like, "I like this," and I don't like that because I talk a lot, and I don't think he'd
me
like
too.
that. So
Also,
my pick
has
is
anyone
also
seen the new Little Mermaid?
I have not.
Okay, we need to probably go see that.
haven't.
I would say since Flynn
I
Rider's
need
taken,
to.
I'll pick Aladdin. Because I feel like
Oh, that's
personality wise, pretty similar.
Okay.
And I like the
Agree.
carpet. Like that's kind
Like
of fun.
street radish.
Street
You're
rat.
kinda
Like
street rat.
let's just travel.
You're kind of street rat.
Yeah, that's me. So
Okay.
that's my pick.
That's a good one. Shoot. Not me over here Googling
Oh my gosh.
Disney princes because my memory is
Worse than mine?
so bad. I think in moments like this, I'm gonna say yes. What's the is the one that we've been talking about the one from
Yeah, Tangled.
Rapunzel?
Yes.
Like the one from Dang it. Okay, what about the guy from Frozen?
Oh,
Oh.
that's a good pick.
Technically?
Yeah.
Who's Hans?
Hans?
No,
No,
Hans is
Hans
a bad
is the-
one.
Hans?
bad guy?
He's a bad guy. We don't like him.
Oh, okay, not
We
him.
don't
not
like him.
The nice one.
Olaf
What's his name?
Sven. I just know the
Oh,
animals.
gosh. Olaf?
Shoot.
You pick Olaf. That's funny. No, and then I know.
No,
and then
it's
Sven
not
is the horse.
Olaf.
Sven is the
Or the reindeer.
Kristoff.
Kristoff.
Yeah.
Kristoff.
That's a good pick. Good
Kristoff.
pick.
Kristoff.
No, he's cute. He's
I'm
cute.
gonna go
And
with
he's
him.
like rugged.
I thought he was cute.
Well, you guys would make like pretty
Yes.
blonde babies.
Oh wow.
pretty, pretty blonde, but and he's like funny too. I remember like watching him. Like you're kind of ditzy, kind of quirky, and I kind of like that.
You would like that.
You know,
You would like
I
that.
would, and
That
I
was
do.
so rude, Casey.
You
Well,
would like someone
does
just
Kira not
absolutely
have like the
ditzy.
cheesiest sense of humor in the world?
Yeah. He'd like that.
Yeah, and I did. That's
I like
my
it.
decision.
I like it too.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that was a good
I'll
question.
come up with a
Sorry,
new
I
sleeve
chose
for
Flynn
next
before
time.
you.
Yeah, it's fine. Whatever.
Okay, that's gonna be Meredith's thing.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
ending
And if you
segment.
guys ever
Super
have
fun.
some,
topics.
please jump in. But
Okay.
I literally came up with those
We'll just
while we were like
interject.
sitting here talking. So I was like, oh,
Okay.
this is a funny
Well,
one.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Sound like it felt like you really put like
It's really
intentionality
smart.
behind that. So thank
I'm
you.
just like creative because
Yeah.
I'm a 4 and like there's no one else like me. So
I just am like really, really creative. I just know what I'm doing.
well, on that note, Casey, happy birthday.
Thanks.
We love you.
Happy birthday,
Thank
Casey.
you. Love
we
you guys.
love you.
I would rather do this than
Yeah.
dishes or
Ah.
any housework.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
I'm flattered.
Yeah.
That's all
And
I
if you
can
know
come up
Casey,
with.
you love Casey.
If you know her, you love her.
Post if you know her, you love her, and post something on our Instagram or tag us.
Except this will probably
somehow,
come out
some
in
way.
August. So
yeah, this will come out. In
Her
months-
birthday's in
months
May.
Did
from
we even say when
now.
it was? Yeah, May 29th.
May 29.
No,
It's also
May
Memorial
29th,
Day, so
so-
thank
It
you,
is also
veterans.
Memorial Day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Happy Memorial Day.
Happy Mem Day.
Yeah.
Happy Mem Day. Aw.
Okay. I love you guys.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I love you. Okay. Talk to you guys next week. Thanks for joining.